Just wanted to take a minute to greet you personally and express my gratitude for you being here. I hope you brought your partner, but if not, perhaps next time. These will be your general monthly readings for the month of August 2020. Without further ado, let's get into the chamber and together look at the magic and wisdom of the tarot cards. Hi, air signs. August 2020, right? So, start out with a couple oracle cards. We're going to have a divine feminine line, we're going to have divine masculine line, and we're going to have a line which is the blended / woven energies of those other two lines. So, a couple oracle cards, please, to start. 4 of Swords in the Psychic Tarot for the heart. 4 of Swords, just breathe. Divine Masculine, number 6, Major Arcana, the Lovers. So far, so good. Let's just get going with let's just do the Divine Feminine line right straight away. This is the Science Tarot. And so far, the Divine Feminine has 2 major arcana. So is something going on that is big for you? Are your hopes up? Are you anticipating some kind of beautiful move in the future towards happiness, harmony, a new home, perhaps? In that case, here's some divine inspiration. We'll start out with the moon. Chemical spirits, the idea that sometimes the meat of the coconut, the most important part of something, is hidden from view. So going into your inner depths, air signs, and reflecting, just tossing around the idea of how important the unseen is compared to the seen. So you're moving though. I mean, that's beginning. So that's kind of the setting the stage. And what is it setting it for? Here comes the Empress. Mendel's peas. Mendel is known as the father. He was a monk who, because of his studies of peas, of all things, he actually came up with genealogy. He is the one who made it possible for some of Darwin's theories to be proven out by observations in terms of genealogy, how our genes make more genes, how our genes predetermine certain traits. But in this case, that power, that kind of bringing the power of observation and just being involved with the living things on this earth is really earth-shattering. Doesn't seem bombastic by any means, but it's big. It's the Empress big. So when you're considering whatever comes to you in this contemplation or traveling into the underworld, realize that this is what can be in store. an empress attitude, an empress bearing. Here we have the Page of Swords. So you've got swords here. You've got swords here. Robert Hooke lived behind his microscope. And because of his observations, he came up with a lot of things that have stuck with everyone. They're used now. For instance, he came up with the idea of a cell. Blood cell, this kind of cell, that kind of cell. The idea, the word itself was brought to this earth by him. So she's going to march out. If I was in the shoes of the divine feminine, I'm going to be looking at who I am in a different light. I'm going to be feeling the infusion of energy and empowerment that comes with being an empress. And then I'm going to step back and realize that although I have a lot to offer, I am at the level of the page. And I want to take my time. It's all about the journey. So if it's all about the journey, then the journey through from page to king is a big one. And it's worth taking your time with it. And what'll lend itself to that? Breathe. Be in your center. And then perhaps you're walking into the presence of your twin flame, your favorite person, your divine other, he who completes you. Or maybe that's who you're looking for. But looking for him or having him already is probably worth the effort, because if you're feeling Empress energy, settling or going for something that's lesser than what you have to offer is probably, unless you want to take on a charity case, is probably not what the direction you want to go. I'm not telling you what to do. That's a potential. You're the one who makes the ultimate final choice. But the divine masculine in August is looking like a pretty strong player in the world of love. For instance, already knowing where he wants to go. Let me cut these first. Take some action. The Chariot. Queen of Swords. No nonsense. And the Hierophant. So, if he's carrying around this in his heart and in his head, the divine masculine, then he might be getting itchy and want to take action. And within him, however, he's finding a roadblock in a sense, in that the consideration of the Queen of Swords. So perhaps he starts to gallop off and goes, well, wait a minute. This feels like a little bit too fast, and I'm losing my head about it. I can't see my way straight to where to go. I want to go. I know how to move towards going, but I don't really know myself in this realm. So a lot of potential for offering, like a diamond in the rough, maybe individual, but is kind of new at the game. Perhaps his mother has been an influence in his life, and she may have been overbearing or somebody who was a bit harsh in her willingness to cut to the chase. And this is a gentler, warmer aspect. And that's where this kind of thing can go. So here's some guidance where the rules of the road can be spelled out by the Hierophant, bringing the way things work in general to the earth. And by connecting here, he gets that. And then by connecting here, he gets this kind of, I mean, how could you not be caring for plants long enough to come up with the idea of genealogy, which means season after season of observation? How could you get there without, well, first of all, having a green thumb, but secondly, being really tied to the earth and tied to the benevolence and the wonders of the earth? And that can be a great connection for this position in the Divine Masculine. Let's see how the blended energies would like to speak. The situation is the Ten of Swords. So there's both taking it home, seeing it through to completion and fruition. Because remember, I mean, he's still got wands that are growing green shoots. There's life here. But it's time to get to the castle and to set it down and to call it what it is, complete. So an ending is a beginning in its essence. That's the situation, but it's not feeling like it's quite over. You're just a few steps from the doorway. What's an obstacle to this? Well, the Queen of Wands. And another female figure that is pretty powerful. Although she's got this benevolence to her also. And maybe this ending in Wands can be the step towards connecting, not with the portion of her that has the wand, but the portion of her that holds the sunflower. So there's kind of a lot of mother nurturing influence in this reading so far, but that can be, in an alchemical way, it can be converted and transmuted into not mother energy so much as partner, feminine partner energy. What's your asset? Your blended energies is saying that your asset is you're ready. You're on the other side of having gone through the Five of Cups, and you're to that point where it seems a lot more things seem beautiful and worthwhile and nurturing and full of feelings. And maybe the matters of the heart have taken on a new aspect of, well, where do you give love? Where do you receive love? Well, you can even receive love by giving love, right? And that may have been hidden before, but not any longer, because it's your asset. It's what you got in your back pocket as your go-to energy. Potential outcome? Well, follow the yellow brick road here, and potentially you walk into a blissful Ten of Pentacles, the embodiment and enactment and fruition of endeavors brought from your spirit onto the earth, and taken a moment to realize the completion, the feeling of centeredness and beauty that comes from the sense of completion. So, interestingly enough, you're starting this line, you as a blended energy scenario, you're starting this line with a 10 and you're ending with a 10. So the ending of one thing, the beginning of another thing, and the ending that comes from now, not the past, comes from now. This is the past. And I'm going to leave it there. I would be glad to work with you individually if you have particular needs where these cards really do work together in amazing, magical ways. Connect with me if you wish, and we'll talk about it. Otherwise, I wish you the best of August 2020, and thanks for being here. See you next time.